Welcome to each and everyone attending today's webinar conducted by the MSME and Startup Promotion Board. Our today's topic is MSME, value creation and ESG integration. And our today's learned speaker is CMA Siddharth Pal. So before I start, just we wait for our institute's anthem, please.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
So welcome back. Now I will request our chairman of the MSME and Startup Promotion Board, CMA Suresh Gunjali sir, to give his welcome address. Sir, over to you, please.
Good evening. Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all the CMA members who are virtually present here. And today's our speaker, CMA Siddharth Palji, and our secretary, Sumitra madam, and my CMA colleagues who are virtually present there. I welcome each one of you for today's webinar. Today's webinar is the MSME value creation and ESG integration. So actually, we are very lucky to have the speaker today with us, Siddharth Palji. He is eminent practicing management consultant and ESG expert. I hope today's session will be the great learning for all of us. I welcome each one of you for today's session, and also welcome Siddharth, CMA Siddharth Palji for our webinars. Thank you. Over to Sumita madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your welcome address. Now I will request to our today's learned speaker, CMA Siddharth Pal sir. But before he joins, a little brief about him. CMA Siddharth Pal is a future-focused, strategic and climate enthusiastic business professional having 25 years of managerial experience assisting CXOs and board to improve organization performance. Expertise in managing growth, raising funds, analyzing business practices, mapping financial requirements, spearheading business transformation, evaluating risk management practices, and preparing financial plans to achieve stipulated goals. Driving profitable revenue growth and simultaneously accelerating the integration of sustainability into strategy and operation through reporting, analysis, problem solving, and training. So over to you, sir. Today's speaker. Welcome you, sir, and over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you. So I shall start my presentation now, and with the permission of Secretary Ma'am, I shall just stop the camera so that I can save little bit bandwidth for proper presentation. So just wait for a minute. I'm going to start the presentation. Hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir, visible.
okay. Thank you again to everyone. So today's subject, we are going to speak about value creation and ESG integration. These are the two subjects. So my little introduction, whatever ma'am has told actually. So to start with, uh, though my background is geographically all over India, I have worked with different organizations, but last 7 to 8 years, I am too much connected with the MSME sector, where actually my clients, wherever I am working, most of the clients are hovering in between a turnover of 150 crore to 350 or 400 crore. So as per the new definition of MSME, what has came into play from 1st April 2025, so all those organizations who are not in MSME segment before 1st April 25, so they are now in this segment now. At first I shall tell you the one slide I shall show you where the revised classification, which is applicable from 1st April, where the criteria, what is the criteria? Investment in plant and machinery or equipment and annual turnover. This is the composite criteria. So at present situation, sitting in June 2025, whom we shall tell micro enterprise, those those organizations whose investment in plant and machinery or equipment not more than 2.5 crore and annual turnover will not be more than 10 crore. Whatever the changes from earlier, before 1st April, those organizations earlier it was plant and machinery investment was 1 crore up to 1 crore and turnover was 25 crore. But now it is changed. Plant and machinery investment up to 2.5 crore and turnover reduced to from 25 to 10. What is the reason actually why government suddenly reclassifying? Before going to small and medium, I require to give you one heads up actually. The point is that from COVID time onwards, we understand there are lot many business stress in their overall world. And Indian business or Indian GDP is mostly dependent on the MSME segment. Whatever India's operational or service sector business is there, MSME organizations are holding a major chunk of that. So what government has seen that during that COVID period, most of the MSME organization was suffering like anything. They could not able to survive. They are not able to get the benefit of the government schemes. Why? There is a reason where all you guys know actually. Generally in MSME segment, mostly those are owner driven or promoter driven when they are starting. When they are slowly growing up, they are concentrating too much on their business, improving the turnover, but they never given a thought to create the system and process which will allow them to run the business smoothly. When your business is growing, when your business is expanding, naturally without process, without system, you can't manage the business. So most of the MSME segment, that problem is there till now existing. mostly owner driven, promoter driven. They always believe to work in the Excel sheets rather than the proper system or process. So what happens when any organization is lacking in the system and process? So naturally, their P&L and balances is not growing in that way. So most of the MSME organizations' major problem is that they are doing good business, but unfortunately, in the books, accounting books, profit is there, but in real term, cash flow, that is not there. That means they are finding every month they are managing the profit, but every month end they have a negative cash flow. So why this situation is happening? Obviously, there is a lacuna in their process and system and any other governance part also. So when the books of the organization, MSME organizations and balance sheets are not giving a very healthy trend, naturally no bank or financial institutions are ready to provide them the finance. Any organization will get finance based on their business health. And in India, still now, the business health mostly judged through the cash flow and balance sheet and P&L account. These are the three things through which it is judged. So most of the MSME organization, when they can't show their business potential and business health through their financial report, obviously they are becoming ineligible for bank finance. Indian government is putting thousands crores of money for the MSMEs through the banking channel and different MSME scheme. So they are not able to get the benefit. So when government created an expert committee post COVID, that why the situation is like that, how it can be improved. Then it has been identified that micro, small and medium, whatever the classification is there, it required to be revised. That is the basic objective. So that more and more MSMEs are coming into this criteria and they can get the benefit of the government schemes. So in a single sentence, now micro enterprise means whose turnover will not be more than 10 crore and whose investment in plant and machinery or equipment will not be more than 2.5 crore. You know, those are very minuscule organizations. Then who are the small sector we shall tell? Small sector means whose plant and machinery investment will be up to 25 crore and annual turnover will be up to 100 crore. Makes sense. Many of the organizations 100 crore, under 100 crore, many organizations are there. So mostly if you see overall Indian business structure, at least 80% of Indian businesses or 85% of Indian businesses will come under micro and small. And which is medium? Medium means whose investment in plant and machinery or equipment will not be more than 125 crore and annual turnover will not be more than 500 crore. So this is the new criteria, new classification. As I am presenting this webinar through the startup and MSME board. So for your information, India is having more than 100 unicorn startup now. But unfortunately, though India is having number of startups nowadays, are registered startup are nowadays going beyond million actually. More than 10 lakhs startups are now registered under Government of India scheme and they are representing the startup sector. But if you see the MSME classification, almost major chunk of the startup, that is almost 99% of the startups or 99.5% of the startups are coming under MSME segment. That means their turnover has not yet crossed 500 crore, though their valuation is improving significantly and in a staggering way, but their turnover not crossed 500 crore. So through this reclassification, all those startups are also coming under the MSME sector, where those startups again can get benefit in a double side. Number one, as a startup definition, they are getting the benefit of Indian government startup scheme. At the same time, they will get the benefit of the MSME classification, and this is the screen what you in front of you. So please understand, we CMAs who are working in the industry or who are practicing, all of them are having a very major significant possibility of professional avenues in this segment, that is MSME and startup both. So I shall go one by one. Coming to the next screen, in 2024 in India, this is not my data actually, this is Government of India's data. 30 crore of MSMEs are there in MSME number, more than 30 crore in India during the year 2024. So here there are so many scheme has been given. So I am not going into the all those details. In any case, I shall share this PPT with you guys. This presentation I shall share through the secretary madam of this board. So you will go through. In the sake of time, I shall not be able to touch base on each and everything. So you hear that 50 crore MSME. Please understand, number of businesses in MSME businesses in India till December 2024, more than 30 crore. So if we the professionals are getting 5 or 10 clients also, till 30 crore will not be covered actually. So that it is such a big ocean actually. So next, so far MSME is concerned, Indian government has come out with Udyam scheme actually, Udyam registration, this is again, it is a government data. This is not my data. This is the government department press release, that is PIB press release. And the link has been given to all of you, that is udyamregistration.gov.in and Government of India, Ministry of MSME registration. Here you will find, though there are 30 crore MSME organizations are there in India, but still Udyam registration, which government is encouraging the MSME sector to be registered under that, still it has not picked up very well 1 year before also, or let's say 1.5 years before. It was there. Slowly MSME are started understanding they required to come under Udyam registration. What is the reason? The reason is that government made it very clear. Whatever the money government is paying for the MSME schemes or benefits, those has to be accounted for. Earlier, what used to happen? Government used to pour lakhs of crores of rupees, but end of the year, when next budget preparation is coming for the Indian government, then there was a no track actually how much really utilized, but at the result has come out, because many thing has underutilized or misutilized thoroughly in earlier years, earlier decades actually. So this Udyam registration government is making mandatory now. Each and every MSME organization required to come under this registration, just like your GST registration. The reason is that whenever the MSME organization will go for a banking scheme or any incentive scheme or any other benefit of the government of India, their first requirement they have to show that they are registered under Udyam. So it's just like as we are having our voter ID card or Aadhaar card or PAN card, same like that. So till June, it is at a glance picture actually. It is till June 2024. Under Udyam registration, total registration was 4.63 crore organizations and out of that, micro is 4.55, small is 7.07 lakh, and medium is 67.4 kilo. That is 67,400 organizations. So, and end of February, how it has changed? The total registration in June 2024, it was 4.63 crore under Udyam. In February, it has jumped to 5.93. That means you are understanding almost there is a 25% or roughly 22% increase in Udyam registration within 8 months. The reason is that government is giving so much lucrative schemes and financing options to them. They are unable to get it if they don't have the registration. So they bound to do that, and they have done for that purpose. Great enough. And if you see the basically, if you see that the government objective is mostly coming out, but in medium scale, those organizations, let us go back to the earlier slide. What is the medium? That means at present, medium meaning turnover will not be more than 500 crore, and annual and investment in plant and machinery or equipment will not be more than 125 crore. So if we come back, see, in June 2024, there was a medium organizations with registration 67,400. In June, it is 69,300. That means only roughly 2,000 organization has increased in medium segment in Udyam registration. But where it has increased hugely in the micro sector, that is 4.55 crore to 5.84 crore. So again, go back to the earlier slide. What is micro? That means whose turnover is not more than 10 crore and whose plant and machinery investment is not more than 2.5 crore. So please understand where the Udyam registration is coming more in the micro segment. That means whose turnover is less than 10 crore. So as a professional accountant or practicing or doing job, so where our scope is more, obviously our scope will be more in the micro sector, where data is clearly telling where the actual flow and improvement is coming. In lieu of that, small scale sector has actually 30 lakhs increment in the Udyam registration, but in micro, it is almost 1.3 crore. But in medium, it is only 2,000. And you must appreciate one thing, 500 crore turnover in business in India. It's a good turnover actually. In India, 500 crore turnover is always, it's a good turnover. So 500 crore turnover businesses mostly, they are becoming self-sufficient slowly. They are scope of funding, they are managed many times by themselves, number one. Internal accrual they are doing mostly. But when they go for the financing, their system and process little bit built up, and their financial reporting and books and health of the organization is much better than the small and micro sector. So actual cream of the practice or job, it is lying in the micro and small, and medium is obviously, if you guys are getting medium, that is nothing like that. Coming to the next slide. So what is the challenges for MSME? When we speak about value creation, what is this um, subject matter of this today's discussion? Value creation and ESG integration. For the time being, I am parking the ESG integration part. I shall not speak about right now. We shall speak little later. Let us understand what is value creation. Value creation, and why suddenly I am showing this slide. What is the challenges faced by the MSMEs and how to overcome them? Why I am showing suddenly? You must appreciate one thing. As a professional, we are supposed to be invited in an organization when they are in trouble. The way we are going to doctor when we are in health crisis. Generally, doctor's chamber is not a place for roaming around or just going for a plain chit chat, not like that. When we shall be in difficulties, then only we visit lawyers and doctors, right? Same way, these MSME organizations will also come to us. Generally, they try to come to us when they are in trouble. So where is our opportunity lying exactly? When we can understand the challenges, naturally those are the places where we can pitch in. for our service and for betterment of the business of the MSME. So let us see. Number one, see marking is there 1, 2 to 10, 1 to 10. There are 10 points I have brought out in a, which is a large scale spectrum actually, where we professionals can support them. They have limited business experience. If you speak about the startups now, all the startup sectors are generally conceptualized, and then after conceptualization, they came out from the drawing board, and on ground they start the business operation. Mostly they are freshly qualified engineering or management graduates. Otherwise, they are having hardly 2 to 3 years experience. They come out with some new idea and business scenario. So generally, what we see actually in this type of scenario or in this type of arena or era, these sort of guys are hardly aged 25 or 30. They don't much having much experience of the business world. So they're really lacking the business experience. So we, the matured professional, we can handhold them to create their business in a run their business in a proper ethical or in a practical way and growing up to the next level. So their limited business experience is a probability for us to get business. Point number two, difficulty in raising capital, what I told just now. They can't able to go for the funding due to their books of accounts is not in a proper shape, or their financial health is also not in a proper shape. Or for raising capital, you require lot many other drivers to see how you can do better till they are not able to judge that or give that to the investors. If you can't tell your story, if you can't tell what is your ambition, where you want to go, and how you will go. Everybody having ambition, but almost 99.9% of us, we don't know how to make that ambition into the realistic way, or how it can be actually real world situation can come out. So there, the storytelling, that what is their ambition, how it is to be uh, actually came to the proper world shape. That means what is their business plan and what is their strategy to go up to that level. There really no knowledge about that. Again, that is another place where we can add value. So slowly I started the value creation discussion. Value creation means when any business, they are starting their input to output. They start in from input and they finish at the output, whether it is manufacturing or whether it is a service sector. Always, step by step, they have to add some value, which we tell value addition. And we customers are giving money to the business organizations for their value addition. Such as we know, coconut we get from the market. Raw coconut we get from the market very easily. And in our Indian staple food, coconut is a very, divine way to use it for the purpose of the God also in the temple also, and at the same time in our kitchen also. At the same time, this coconut is getting used for our edible oil also, and at the same time hair oil also. When one coconut you are purchasing, let's say at the rate of 40, but when you are going to purchase that coconut oil as an edible oil or as a hair oil, you will find that the price has jumped from 40 to almost 140 or 150. Obviously, when you are going to give a differentiation of 100 rupees extra, obviously you are getting some value. Otherwise, why you will give? And we customers purchase for that only. So these are the things, from raw material of 40 rupees to your finished goods of 140 rupees. What are the step-by-step value addition has come? Most of the organizations in the MSME segment are getting failed there to add proper value, calculate proper value, and control the proper value. So we professional scope is there so much to handhold them in the journey of their value addition, which we shall get our fees through value creation. In simple sentence. Point number three, regulatory and compliance complexity. We know in Indian business nowadays are going through so many compliances and so many regulatory issues, which this MSME segment is not always very much conversant, and it is not possible for them to know each and every regulation what we professionals know. So again, that is another scope. Raw material sourcing and supply chain setup. Whatever the raw material sourcing and supply chain setup, MSME organization understand, but many of the things they don't understand, which I shall come in the later part of our presentation today, that where they really want to do the justice, where we can add value. Point number five, brand recognition and market penetration. Again, it is a part of business plan and strategy orientation. Operational challenge. If you guys are little bit knowledgeable or knowledgeable about the MSME segment, you will understand each and every MSME organization are day-to-day basis always in a firefighting mode. They start the morning with the fire and they close the business in the evening hours with fire. So continuously they're fighting the fire. The reason, they don't have a proper setup and system and process to control their operational challenge, because they are having, in my journey of consulting in the below 500 crore turnover organizations, I have seen actually really they are lacking in the system and control, which creating their most difficult part in managing their operation. And if you don't manage your operation properly, how you can actually actually you can finalize your output, whether it is in manufacturing or whether it is in service segment, how you can finalize your output and how you can send it to your customer. And if you are not sending it to the customer in proper time, naturally how you can get your revenue in proper time. And top of that, nowadays many LD clauses are there, that is late delivery charges are there. If you don't do it in time, so naturally late delivery charges are applicable to you. Big organizations nowadays, under their own benefit or government intervention, they started giving so many orders to the MSME segment. MSME segments are nowadays working in a huge way in the big organizations or listed organizations value chain, actually supply chain. So big organizations are happily adding MSME organizations in their value chain or supply chain, but one condition, that means they have to provide the support in proper time. If not, LD clauses will be applicable. So if your business is regularly paying late delivery charges from your revenue, then your that is a leakage of your profit, right? This is your profit leakage. So if you can control that, nat- naturally whatever the LD charges, that will come back to you as your operational profit, and that will impact your cash flow also. Point number seven, which is hiring and managing workforce. So fortunately, I could able to work with many organizations in their hiring process, because they don't have so much skilled human resource professional to interview properly or select people properly or retain people properly. So I have the opportunity and I have good fortune that I could able to work. Same way you guys can also work, that is supporting the MSME organizations for hiring and managing their workforce, not in sitting inside their organization. From outside, you can give your advisory and consulting support. Lack of mentorship and networking, just now what I told, mentoring, whatever the due to their limited business experience, point number one, you can get this benefit for their point number eight, that is lack of mentorship and networking, so you can manage, support them. Technology adoption. Nowadays, business world where the new operating systems are coming out, where the IoT systems are coming out, where artificial intelligence is entering in our day-to-day life, where all the very technologically sophisticated enterprise resource planning softwares are coming out, ERP system, all those things. Naturally, customer relationship management software, CRM software is there, supply chain management software is there. These MSME organizations are not really able to understand or manage that. So we professionals, we have a very clear edge on that to support them. So this is another part. And last but not least, cash flow management. What I started with my session today. Many of the MSME business organizations, they find that they are having regularly business profit they are getting, but in the books of accounts, their profit is there. But end of the month, they are fighting for cash. They are having negative cash flow. So if they have negative cash flow, then you tell me how a business can survive, because we know cash is king. You may have profit, but you don't have cash. How you run your business? So participants, kindly note my points. These are the 1 to 10 points where we have the opportunity to working with the MSME segment, and these are the value creation possibilities. Hope you are understanding. I don't know, Madam Secretary, Madam, whether this is a interactive session, whether I can interact with the participants, or they will not be allowed to speak actually.
Sir, once your session will get over within the specified time, if the question raised, I may tell you, and if your time
Okay,
permits, you may answer
understood.
it. Answer this.
Understood.
Please,
So
please.
my suggestion is that you can write in the chat box for the participants with
Yes, sir.
reference to this slide actually. Where are the
Yes, sir.
10 points I have shown? If they have any question, they can send it to you.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Coming to the next slide, out of these 10 slides, so 10 points earlier one, which are the 10 points. Out of that, I have synopsized it in that way. These out of 10, these are the prevalent challenges. Number one, nowadays they're suffering inadequate access to latest technology. Point number two, funding crisis, unavailability of credit. Point number three, their supply chain management crisis or procurement of raw material issue. Point number four, absence of skilled manpower. Point number five, scarcity of adequate infrastructure resource. And point six, poor access to potential market. If you see point number one, it is coming under information technology domain. They are actually suffering here. Point number two, unavailability of credit means they are suffering in the financing. Procurement of raw material challenge means it is under supply chain. And absence of skilled manpower, again, it is coming under HR domain. And infrastructure resource adequate, scarcity of adequate infrastructure resource, again, it is coming their operational aspect. And poor access to the potential market, in that is in marketing. So if you see these 6 points, which are the prevalent challenges. So first one is IT, information technology. Point number two is finance. Point number three is supply chain. Point number four, HR. Point number five, operation. And point number six is marketing. So if you see this screen or this slide properly, it's very, very clear that all the 6 major functions of the organization are suffering. So these are the scope for us for value creation and value addition. Again, just as a synopsis, government has came out with so many MSME policies, that is financial assistance, which I am continuously telling you related to that financing pattern. Government came out in their support. Priority sector lending, MSME are coming under nowadays. MSME sector is coming under priority sector. So government is fully focused towards their lending pattern so that they can get the lending in time. Their business should not halt. Then technology upgradation, there are so many schemes in government, under the government of India or specific state governments, where the MSMEs for financial assistance or technology upgradation, they can get cheap rate, cheap rate financing through which they can improve their organization. Now coming under the environmental sustainability, which slowly I shall come within few minutes. What is that? That you will have to understand, that is lot many policies are there. Then point number 5 is export promotion. That means most of the MSMEs are driven by export. They have a very big market in their India and their local market. Still, export market always give them better pricing and better profitability. So obviously, it's a lucrative market for MSME, the export. So for export promotion, they have Indian government is having lot many policies and financing and skill development. So through all these 6 points, Indian governments are having the policies where they can get benefit, and you guys can support this sector through these policies also. So if we speak about value creation, what is exactly value creation? I just told you, business success depends on this triangle. If you see, three circles are superimposing with each other, and one triangle is coming in between. That is business success. What is the result of that? Business success is the result of value to owners, value to customers, value to employees. In simple sense, any organization is having three major stakeholders. Who are they? Number one, promoters, owners, another one, customers, another one, employees. At the same time, government organizations are also are having a very big stake. But primarily, business success depends on these three. So, if we can support these organizations and add value add value to their journey, particularly in these three segments, for the promoter segment, customer segment, and employee segment, we are going to be the king. Our professional practice can improve hectically. Now, most of our colleagues in this, they are working in MSMEs already with GST or income tax or any accounting matters. So I shall urge all you guys, you can, whatever you are doing, it's fine, you do. But at the same time, please try to see these angles also. These are the angles where the premium fee structure is available, which you can command a value, good value in the market. So you can think of that. So value creation, if I take it in a circular way, you see from the extremely top right clockwise, if I go, enhancing technological development, utilizing scale of economies. Economics means that any business that absolutely require profit. With loss, no business can go forward. So naturally utilizing the scale of economics. When the growth is coming, naturally scale of economics has to be driven. That is your profitability analysis, management information system creation, all those things. So value creation will have a three factors. One is productivity, another is activity, another is pricing. Under productivity, improving operational efficiency and technological development, these two will create productivity benefit. How activities will come out? Utilizing scale of economics, improving product mix, and improving input mix. So which input will be better for you for your profitability? Which product you will go for manufacturing or servicing, which will give you a better profitability? This is coming under that. What are the pricing? Where you can manage your input pricing through lowering input pricing through proper negotiation and proper supply chain logistic arrangement, and improving your product pricing, that is rising output price. These are in major way we can create value creation, and this will be immensely helpful for the organizations also and for us also. This is a small value creation framework, So top, actually, if you take this as a two axis, x axis and y axis, if we have cut it in a four segment, this circle. So in the top right side, top right side, what are the value creation capability? That is commercial excellence and innovation. We have just spoken, we have. Then next in the clockwise direction, people development and supply chain. Then next one, ESG or digitization and strategy. And next last one, sales and customer experience and finance. These are the major thing where you can work. So this is a simple slide. MSME sector, we have spoken and we told that this is a key sector of our Indian economy, where the maximum employment and major contribution is coming out from this economic growth. So cost management of the MSMEs is actually heart of the business. So establishment of good quality of system, good manufacturing practices, and continuous improvement initiatives. So these are the scenarios which to which MSME organizations can survive and improve. And these are coming under cost management. So increasing productivity, efficiency, and cost effectiveness, we cost and management accountants are the sole guardian of these segment. Now you can't stop anyone. Big Four or anyone can come into that segment, but we have a premium knowledge. If we utilize properly, these are the place where we can work properly with this segment. So quickly come to the ESG segment. Value creation part I have given you in a very broad perspective. Now I shall take another 10 minutes for the ESG segment. You know, nowadays ESG and sustainability, everyone is speaking. What is that actually? E for environment, which is coming under these climate change and carbon emissions. Whatever the natural resources going out and increase of pollution, and biodiversity and conservation, these are coming under the environmental perspective. Social means human rights and labor practices, employee welfare and diversity, community relations and stakeholder engagement. If we come to the G segment, board structure and independence, that is G segment means governance segment, board structure and independence, executive compensation and accountability, shareholders' rights and transparency. So these are the ESG segment through which each and every organization are coming under this net, whether it is the biggest organization of India or Tata Group or Reliance or anyone, they are also coming under that. And at the same time, MSME organizations who are under the supply chain of this big organizations, so they are also coming under this net through the assessment from the bigger organizations. So if you guys can develop skill in that, this is a good practice area for you guys. So I already spoken. So environmental sustainability, carbon emission, energy consumption, and waste management practices. These are the environmental sustainability. Social responsibilities, diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, I this is not the scope of discussion today. So if Suresh Gunjali said that his chairman sir or secretary madam is allowing me for another session, naturally I can take up there. But today the scope is limited, so I'm not going into the in details. So employee health and safety and community engagement. These are the social factors, and governance. We know risk management practices. Those things will be there. So this is same thing, just shown in a different way. So under governance, business ethics, corruption, accounting transparency, these are the major relations. And we professionals, we know very well in MSME segment, business ethics, accounting transparency, and corporate corruption is a major part where we can advise them and we can play a major role there. Coming back to the next slide, how we can incorporate ESG into business strategy for the entrepreneurs. Most of the MSME organizations are entrepreneur driven. So this is a segment where it ESG integration and incorporating with the business strategy, it is a major task. So most of the almost each and every owners and directors, promoters or entrepreneurs, these MSME organization, they don't understand what is ESG and how it can be integrated with the business strategy. So there are 8 pillars coming from the left side in a anti-clockwise direction. So understand the ESG principles, then assess the current ESG status. Clear ESG goals we have to set, develop an ESG action plan, then going up and again coming through clockwise direction, implement ESG practice, monitor and measure ESG performance, communicate the ESG efforts, and continuous improvement and adaptation. These are the 8 segments where there is huge opportunity for job and practice also. So the 8 levers of value, how ESG can be a value creation model for the MSMEs. There are 4 levers are there coming in a anti-clockwise direction. You see lever 1, 2, 3, and 4 is there. So anti-clockwise lever 1 is a risk factor where ESG non-compliance is a huge risk for the organization where they have to come under huge penalty. Then lever 2, which is reputation. HR can build the organization's ESG reputation by intentionally embedding ESG into policies and practices. So ESG mostly driven through policy practices and KPIs. Again, we the management accountants, we are the best suitable professionals for policy process and KPI and MIS. So we can handle them. Come back to lever 3, which is relationships. So managing the people, process, and practice, who better than HR can do that? But HR don't know everything. We can handle them. And lever 4 is the return. That means highest priorities if you put or the organization put towards these 4 value levers. So organizations will get major benefit through their bottom line and the profitability improvement. So just giving one example, other slides also there also, I shall not go into that. Already I am looking, it is another 10 minutes only pending for this session. So this is the last slide I shall put. Beyond that, it is difficult for me to go. So let us take how we can integrate ESG into the supplier selection process. I am giving you as a case study. We know each and every organization required to select supplier. What is the major criteria in supplier selection? Mostly quality and cost. Who will provide me in a lower cost but best quality? But ESG is telling no, your quality and price and cost is not the factor. You have to see other factors also. What are that? That whether your supplier from whom you are going to get money, getting material or service, whether it is big organizations or small organizations, regulatory compliance is supremely important. That means any MSME organization is becoming the supplier for big organizations, they must be compliant with the regulation. Then executive and senior management pressure, customer pressure, all are driving the ESG growth in MSME segment. Shareholders also started putting huge pressure and increased quality of purchased product and cost reduction. So when we are telling regulatory compliance, so regulatory compliance of ESG means these are this slide and this slide. These are the slide you require to understand and you require to actually support the organizations through ESG parameters and other value creation model, which will really allow this organization and support this organization in a long run to grow. And we professionals also grow in that way. So I shall stop my presentation here. Not more than that, only 7 minutes left over. So Secretary Madam, I'm just transferring or this call to you and this presentation to you. Secretary Madam, please take up this matter actually now. Any question, anything for
Yes, sir.
7 minutes?
Thank you so much. There are questions, few questions. May I read it, sir?
Yes, please.
One Sri Krishna, he has written that are the existing organizations which are established beyond 10 years, but they fall under the criteria, will they be eligible under the classification MSME and can be registered?
Yes. It is nothing to do with the age of the organization. If the organization is coming under the MSME reclassification, everyone will be eligible.
Okay, sir. And the second question is by R. Sampath, raised by R. Sampath. He has asked that, sir, I need clarification regarding P and M investment. Is it WDV or original investment?
Sir, when the investment in plant and machinery or equipment, it is coming under that, obviously if you run the organization for more than 10 years and if you go behind the WDV, naturally your value will be minuscule. I know many of the organizations who have a plant and machinery investment is more than 50 crores, but through WDV, they have come down after 25 years is almost 9 years or 10 years. But you need not to speak about only WDV. Along with that, whatever the capitalization of the assets you have done, that is the new addition, that is also you have to consider in this calculation. That is WDV plus net capitalization. So obviously, many a times government is telling them, yes, whatever the capital WIP which is not yet capitalized, government is giving some relaxation to add back that also.
And one more question is that raised by Deepak Dhingra. Is there any income tax benefits in initial years in micro MSME?
Yes, there is absolutely, there are benefits are there, but this is beyond my today's presentation, so I will not go into that.
Okay, one question raised by Sri Krishna, that is healthcare sector will also be considered under MSME as per the norms.
100%. There are two criteria. One is investment in equipment, which should not be more than 125 crore and turnover will not be more than 500 crore. So in healthcare segment, you will find the plant and machinery and equipments all are the major thing where they are required to invest hugely. That is medical equipments. So they are having very high medical equipment investment, but their turnover, mostly major healthcare segments are below 500 crores. So any of the criteria is matching, they will come under that and they are also eligible for this benefit.
Okay, sir, these were the questions raised by the attendees for the time being. So this is a nice presentation. So many members have asked for your PPTs. If you can share it, sir, so we may reshare it with the today's attendees. And as you have
Madam,
already
actually,
mentioned, yeah.
please. Actually, madam, the point is that I am going to share this very shortly with you, and you can get it very shortly, so you
Okay.
can share with them. But due
Okay,
to
sir.
lack of time or want of time, I could not go into the depth which I supposed to go. But I have just tried to give a heads up sort of thing,
Yes,
just
sir,
going in
because
the
paucity of time sometime prevails. And so
Mm,
we will be requesting you for taking another session whenever your time will permit and our time will matches, sir. So
yeah.
certainly, so it was a very nice presentation. I think everybody, those who have attended, they have enjoyed the session. Some of them have already expressed their, uh, pleasure also. So thank you very much, sir, for this nice presentation and for being with us in this session. It was a
Thank you,
nice
ma'am.
presentation, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Only
you, sir.
one point is there.
Okay, sir.
Anyone wants to ask any question, please request them or advise them to share it with you or my mail ID also there if they want.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
can support them because we are in the institute for so many senior segment we are. Naturally, I shall be glad to support them if they want.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
So we are ending up the session over here
Sure.
with your
Sure.
kind permission.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
End করে দিলাম। এরপরে কিছু করা যাচ্ছে? Cancel তো করতে পারবো, কন্টিনিউ আছে।
Continue.